Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Aaron Enriquez, giving you an exclusive interview to Coach Miller. Coach, what brings us here tonight? You have a big announcement here.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about our schedule, and baseball season's just around the corner, January 17th. Getting ready to get started and get everything kicked off on our way to hopefully a great season.
What are your expectations for the season now coming into the new program as the new kid on the block here in Robstown?
Well, I think my expectations every year never really change. As I told the parents at the parent meeting and the community members that were there, I have 3 individual goals as we start the season. My goals are to win 25 games is always a goal that we have. To go at least to the third round of the playoffs is always a goal. And to win the National Academic Award for the American Baseball Coaches Association. So those are kind of some in the back of my mind things that I'm always thinking about. But with this year being a new year and getting things going in the right direction, we want to take a step forward. Robstown has great tradition, great kids here, and I've come to learn that they're very focused on baseball and want to be successful. So we are definitely trying to continue those steps in the right direction and give kids an opportunity to be successful.
So coming up on Saturday, I know you have an announcement to make about that before we get any further with the baseball schedule.
Yes, so tomorrow, Saturday morning from 9 to 12, we're going to host our first ever Christmas camp. Basically free entry, but we want you to bring a toy, an unwrapped toy, canned food, some type of non-perishable food item, and or a donation. You can just give a donation, and just trying to help those in need here at the end of the year by giving back with what we feel like we're good at, which is baseball. So our kids can't help. UIL doesn't allow our kids to help. So our coaches are on board, and we have some former players that are going to help out, some former Robstown players are going to help with the camp, and that are coming back from college. So, yeah, have some fun, play some baseball, be on the field, get to move around a little bit, and give back to the community. So,
outstanding. Now with this schedule release here, what stands out to you the most in non-district season before district begins? What's the number one opponent that you had to get in to this schedule for the season?
Well, the hardest part that people don't understand is putting a schedule together, because we are trying to put together a varsity schedule, but we're also trying to fit in as many JV games as we can fit in. And we're here in the last couple places that I've been, we're trying to fit in as many junior high games as we can. So finding the opponents that are open on those dates are a challenge. Especially this is the first year of a realignment, so your Corpus schools that we might have played in the past, the Vets and the Carrolls and people like that, they have a very full schedule. They're playing 16 district games this year. Well, UIL only allows you to play 17 total. So by the time you're picking up the phone and calling people, you have to match an open date that you have with an open date that they have. Well, they only have one. So we had to find who has that open date to be able to play us, and that was a challenge. And finding out other districts, and not all districts put their schedule together at the same time. So it was a little bit of a challenge this year. But I guess the game I'm looking the most forward to is the Whataburger Field game. We're going to Whataburger Field. We're going to play Victoria East. Coach Rojas, who is our assistant coach, has some ties to Victoria. He was there for a while. Let's see, what is the date on that? I don't have
the date for the Victoria East Whataburger Field is 5 o'clock, and that's going to be on the 4th of March.
Yes, I'm on my next page
on
here.
Tuesday
Sorry.
night.
Yes, Tuesday night, March the 4th. We play at 5 o'clock because there's an 8 o'clock game. That's why we play at 5. They asked us to play the early game so Victoria East could get back home, because I think it's 2 local teams that are going to play at 8 there at Whataburger Field. And Whataburger does great, and they have a full schedule, and as soon as I called them, they put us on, and I just had to find the opponent that was willing to play on that date, and for 4 or 5 phone calls, and Coach Coley at Victoria East jumped on it. So that's a great team to play. It's a playoff-type atmosphere just a couple games into the season, and gives our kids an opportunity to play on one of the nicest fields in Texas. So
absolutely. Speaking of tournaments here, I mean, what's the tournament that sticks out to you as the season is now coming into fruition here? Is it the Sinton tournament, the Cal Allen tournament, or what stumps out to you?
Right. So we do have the Sinton tournament week 1 for our varsity, and week 2 we play the Cal Allen hosts a tournament with us. It's the Cal Allen tournament, but they host it at our field, and we get some benefit of that. So I didn't want to lose the benefit that we get from playing at home. One of the things that I am doing this year is I am going to seriously challenge our pitching staff. We are playing 5 games in the Victoria tournament, and we are possibly playing 6 games in the Cal Allen tournament. So that is the maximum amount of games that you can play in a tournament. And we're going to push our pitchers to a point to see who can get it done, who can push through those challenges. And of course, we don't want to injure anybody, but kids will have an opportunity to start. There'll be 6 different kids that have an opportunity to start against quality 5A and 6A opponents in that Cal Allen tournament. So it's always great to play at home. Everybody wants to play in Robstown. Every time I call somebody, they're like, "We'll just come to you. We'll come to you." I'm like, I need to play on the road some too. But we have such a great park. I understand why people want to be here. But the Cal Allen tournament is great. And then in Victoria, we go to Victoria for an overnight trip. I think it's important for our kids to do that. And as silly as it may sound to some people, when you go to the state tournament, you spend the night. So we need to have done that. When we get to that point again, and we get to the point where we're traveling to a state tournament, hopefully this year, but whenever that is, I want our kids to know what it's like to go put their stuff in a hotel room, go get something to eat, come back, do a team bonding session, get up in the morning, eat breakfast, do a weight workout, go to a game, come back. That process, we want to be very process oriented in what we do.
Now, the first district game will be quite the opening.
You're right.
And that is going to be Friday night on the 21st of March at 7 o'clock here at Steve Kosser Field, and it's against none other than the arch rival, the Cal Allen Wildcats.
Yeah.
Now, this is your first go-around head-to-head with Steve Chapman. What do you think about that game?
Well, and to give the coach's answer to start with, and I do believe this in my heart. I mean, we want to win every game we play. We want to put a quality product on the field no matter who we play. If we're playing Cal Allen, or if we're playing Zapata, or we're playing H.M. King or Carroll, or whoever we're playing foul this year's on our schedule, we want to do that. So my goal is to not play any different against Cal Allen as we do against TM, as we do against Hebbronville, because we want to be at a high level, not only every game we play, but every practice we practice and everything. We want to be at an extremely high level and put a great product on the field. Now, with that being said, there's going to be some energy and there'll be some excitement. And my favorite thing about those games is you prepare us for the playoffs, man. And because in the end, I said this in our first interview, winning a district championship is great. It's wonderful. Everybody wants to do it. But I'll trade it for 4 or 5 rounds deep, or a chance to go to the state tournament, or to play in the state tournament in a heartbeat. My last school that I was at, we finished second in the district. We went to the state tournament. Last year, Cal Allen finished second in the district, went to the state tournament. So I'm pretty sure they would tell you they would rather take the state playoff, the playoff run over the district championship. But we're going to try and put a good product out there and get ourselves ready to play a quality opponent like Cal Allen or TM or the teams in our district.
Very well said, sir, indeed. Now, going toward the tail end of the season, after the last district game, which will be at Steve Kosser Field against Zapata on Thursday night at 7 o'clock, you have an interesting twist toward the end. Tell us a little about the Beeville and at London, and then possibly Santa Gertrudis Academy. Right.
So with 5 teams in our district, was a very small district, we kind of got stuck with having that bye the last game of the year. So the last district game, which would have been, like you said, after that Thursday Zapata game, Zapata, H.M. King, Cal Allen, and TM, they'll be playing. Well, we have a bye. So that is an entire 2 weeks off before you hit the playoffs. Well, that is rough. So we went ahead and scheduled Beeville, who's a quality opponent. Coach Vasquez does a great job with those guys, and that'll be a good opponent for us on Tuesday. And then on Friday, London, who's been very successful the last few years at the 3A level, but will soon be 4A, I would imagine. And those guys do an amazing job, and London's on the up and up. So we want to play a good opponent there on Friday. And then on Saturday, we picked up Santa Gertrudis Academy, hopefully. Both of those teams, it will depend on how they finish in their district. So if they finish in a tie, that game may have to change. But we have some other opponents that we can pick up in that spot. But my goal there is to play someone on Friday and Saturday, whether it's the same team or a different team, that when we roll into the playoffs a week later and we have to play the same team twice or 3 times, then we've put ourselves in a position the week before to prepare for that already. And that's why you pick up an opponent like London and SGA, who've, 4 or 5 rounds deep the last couple years in 3A, and very quality opponents there at the end. And that's another thing. We're playing Falfurrias, we're playing Hebronville, we're playing London, and we're playing SGA. And people may say, well, golly, we're playing a bunch of 3A schools. Well, I'm going to tell you, I was in that district, and those guys have got some teams, and they're going to bring some good. They're going to come over here and try and beat us, because that's a step up for them. And so we just want to play baseball. We want to play baseball as much as we possibly can.
Now, you also have an interesting twist here, some fan appreciation nights.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
Tell us a little more about that. It's coming up season.
Right. So I think the first one, if you don't mind here allowing me to look, the first one is we go to Whataburger Field on March 4th. And then on March 18th, this will be a staple of our season. I'm a big fan of this. I've done it at every college and every high school that I've had the chance to coach at. We will have Little League night. And March 18th, we play Carroll High School. Again, great opponent, fun, energetic. It's going to be a great game. But before that game, we'll play Carroll at 7 o'clock. And what we'll do is at 5 p.m., we will have Little League night. And we'll have a field full of Little Leaguers in their uniforms. And our players will go out on the field, and our coaches, and we will coach them at their positions that our kids play. So we'll have a sliding group, and we'll have an infield group, and a hitting group, and they'll rotate through, and kids have a great time. And if you play in a Little League or Pony League, either one, then you wear your uniform and you come and you get in and you get to do that. The cool thing is we get down around 6 o'clock, and our kids will go in and we will go lift weights, because we lift weights before we play a game. Our varsity kids will go lift weights and get prepared for the game, and our youth or our Little League and Pony League kids they'll get some food from Sonic. Robstown Sonic is a huge supporter of our baseball program, have jumped on board with us a bunch, and have already helped us out in a lot of ways. And so the kids will get fed by Sonic, and which is great, and then they'll go on the field for the national anthem. So they'll get to stand with the Robstown players on the field for the national anthem. So that's pretty neat. So that's the 18th, and then we have Teacher Appreciation Night, March 28th. We always want to help the teachers and recognize them for all the things that they do. So the kids will get to pick a teacher of their choice, and we'll recognize that teacher before the game, and the teacher will get an award and a chance to be on the field with the kid. And then the last one we do is a senior night, and senior night will be April 22nd. Now we'll recognize our seniors as we get ready to play Beeville.
During your time now in Robstown, what strikes you the most during this entire process as you came on board, and now you've already spent some time here in Robstown? What's the one thing that strikes to you right now?
Well, my favorite thing, I don't know if there's one thing that has really just stood out more than anything else, but my favorite thing is how hard our kids have worked. Without a doubt. We came in, and I set some guidelines early in the semester of what we were going to try and accomplish, and the number one thing on that list was we were going to be stronger, we're going to be more athletic, and we have not missed a day in the weight room. Our kids have really shown up and really put a lot of time in in the weight room. I know a lot of teams love to play a lot of baseball in the fall. They love to play as many tournaments as they can and get in all these leagues. And I told them, like, look, we're going to be fine on the baseball field. We need to make sure that when we're hitting the ball, it's exploding off that bat. When we're driving off that mound or whatever we're doing, that we're delivering that ball to home plate with as much velocity as we can. When we're running the bases, that we're, putting pressure on the other team. So that has been my favorite thing, is how hard our kids have worked. And I've been really proud of them and the effort that they've put in.
So to those watching this interview on social media shortly, what is the one message from Coach Miller about the Robstown Cotton Pickers' upcoming season this year? What is the message that you want the fans of Robstown to know?
That we are putting a lot of energy and effort into putting a great product on the field. And I want them to know, because we haven't talked about it tonight, we've really just talked about the varsity, but we have 16 JV junior high games scheduled. We have a full JV schedule. We have a JV 2 schedule. So our kids are getting a chance to play baseball. And I guess my biggest message is, if you love baseball and you want to see it, you're going to get plenty from January 17th until hopefully the first week of June. So be prepared, come out, be loud. We're excited about what we're going to try and bring to the table. The coaches have done a great job, and I guess mine would just be, Nolan Ryan used to say, everybody loves ice cream until you're shoving it down their throat, and that's how he felt about his fastball. Everybody loves to hit a fastball until you're shoving it down your throat. But for me, we do, like, I'm sitting here looking at the month of April. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 11th, 12th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 21st, 22nd, 25th, and 26th and 28th, we have games. So other than Sundays, there's only 3 off days. So there's a lot of baseball going on in Robstown in a few months. So come out, be ready for it. We're excited to do it, and excited to put something great on the field.
And how have the coaches rallied around you really well these last several months as you've made your grand entrance here in Robstown? They really have.
Can't be more excited. Can't be more excited about the gentlemen that are going to be doing this with me. We've sat down multiple times. I shared it at the parent meeting. We have a coach's responsibility list, and we have met 5 or 6 times. I've met individually with the coaches or with them as a group. Multiple text messages. We send messages to each other all the time. We find some great quote that we like or some drill that we like, and we share it on Facebook, or we share it on a text message of, hey, don't forget about this, we need to do this. But these guys are baseball guys. I am so excited to have Coach Rojas and Coach Manny Rojas and Coach Gabriel Rojas. Coach Jeremy Molina is I just kind of wink at him and say, you're Robstown royalty, man. And but he's going to handle a lot of our hitting stuff. And then Coach Marco De Los Santos is a Robstown favorite. The kids love him. And I'm partial to Coach Mahadas, man. Coach Mahadas spent 5 years with me, and is bringing a lot to the table, and has done a lot for our junior high kids. So what a great staff. What a great group of guys. And I'm going to tell you, the Red Diamonds, the girls that are helping us, they have organized jerseys. They have checked inventory. They have they'll be at the camp tomorrow taking up stuff. They have worked gates for tournaments. They have cleaned. Those girls are it's hard to take the baseball out of you when it's in you, and those girls are jumping all over stuff. So it's great. I'm excited.
Well, final question, sir. Now that you've been here and established yourself among the Robstown community, among the Robstown baseball program as a whole, the term "first you must believe," has that changed? You getting to know further familiarization with the program, or has it evolved to something that you never really knew?
Okay, so a little bit of both. So I don't think it's changed. I think the theory behind it and what it means to each individual person is still there. For me, we had a conversation about our hats. We had a conversation about what do we want them, how are we going to change, or what are we going to do. And for example, we will, on our white hats and our gray hats this year, it will not say Believe on the back. It will say 21, which is this book here by John Gordon. We're talking about being a teammate, and the kids will get based off of this. But our red hats, the hats we wear at home, the hat that is when we're playing a championship, the hat that when we're playing that, anytime we're at home, anytime we're playing for a championship, anytime we're playing to win a playoff round, we'll wear that red hat, and that red hat will always be the same, and it'll always have Believe on the back. And we've talked about it to each individual kid, and I've talked about it to the coaches that have played here, and what does it mean to them, and it will always be a part of us. It will always be at the core of what it means to be a Robstown baseball player. And I want it to be something that is individualized, and that when they think about it, they think about their best times in Robstown. They think about the success that we're going to have or that we've had when they were here, and they take it on. And the coolest thing about that is when you wear that shirt and people just know, like it doesn't have any, it doesn't say Robstown at all. It just says First We Must Believe, and everybody goes, well, that's a baseball shirt. Like that is at its core the heart of Robstown baseball, and I'm so excited that we have that. I had a great opportunity. We are setting up a Robstown Baseball Alumni Association. We have done that with some members that played here. Coach Castro's son is part of that, and his grandson was here when we were meeting to talk about it. That was fun, and some of the other guys, and we talked about that, and we talked about the almost the tattooing of it to our hearts, and what it's going to mean to this community to always be a part of it. And so I'm excited to help that grow and become a part of me and my family, and hopefully bring it back to life, not just in Robstown but over the whole state of Texas. And maybe you never know, like maybe we're nationally ranked here before long. So
very well said, sir. Thank you so much for taking the time for talking about this exclusive interview about releasing the full schedule, which we will have on our Facebook page for the 2025 season. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready. I hope everybody else is ready. There's a lot of baseball around the corner.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.